Well. A lot has happened over the last week or so, right? The now former Stellantis CEO steps down and leaves the company finally. Tim Kuniskis decides to come back to the company. He unretires now that Tavares has left. The company should be on the right foot to move forward and do what they should have been doing from the get-go, right? Now, we all know the former CEO Tavares, Carlos Tavares, did not understand how to make things right in the American market. We knew he was a bad business leader from that standpoint, but a lot of not really former, but a lot of people from inside Stellantis go deeper than that, and they let us know that not only he was a bad business person, but also just a bad person in general. And on top of that, we always speculated about him being the person who wanted to kill the Hemi. His own co-workers have pretty much said that he was the person that drove that. Let's go ahead and get into the video and talk about it. This is my Dodge Charger Scat Pack wide body. It's big, it's loud, it's bright red. It simply grabs attention no matter where I go. Unfortunately, I bought a car that is 60 times more likely to be stolen than any other car on the road. With the long list of mods and things I bought for this car, one of the first things I installed on my car was this. CarLock, the world's best GPS tracker and alert system. With CarLock, you will be able to live track your car with the GPS from your phone. Also, get alerts sent directly to your phone if anything is going on with your car, such as vibrations, engine starting, the car moving when it shouldn't be moving, or if there's a loss of power, your CarLock will get an alert for that as well. Be sure to get your CarLock. Use my link down in the description below and these discount codes to get a 10% discount on your CarLock purchase, as well as a 14-day free trial of the CarLock service as well. Let's get into the video. You see the title and you see the thumbnail. So now that Carlos Tavares has made his early exit from being the CEO of Stellantis, current employees are now stepping forward to let us know exactly how bad it was to work under Carlos Tavares. And of course, it ain't pretty. Now, as everyone from the outside of the company looking in, we all pretty much said that how terrible Tavares was at his job and how he was just killing the MOPAR brand day by day with some of the decisions he made. Now, it is confirmed by the current employees actually how bad he was at his job. When it comes to describing the now former Stellantis CEO, employees typically use the word arrogant. It is now been confirmed, the current employees, that Tavares was really the lone wolf that went hard at pushing, killing off the Hemis in favor of electric vehicles. So several sources said executives tried multiple times, so not one, not two, not three, not four, but multiple times to deprioritize the company's emphasis on electrified vehicles, or at the very least launch gas-powered vehicles alongside or before the EVs hit the lots to make sure they can keep up with sales. And despite all of that information Tavares was getting from his experts, he went against all that and did what he wanted to do. Now, in response to that, guys, like, that's something I've been saying since day one, since I learned about Dodge going this whole electric route. My whole thing was the fact that you needed to not completely pivot from what you were doing, but if you was going to go the electrified route, at least offer options to your customers that didn't want to go the electric route. Like I said, the electric market isn't as big as the gas power market at the moment, and especially if you're a performance company such as Dodge, going completely electric going from all these powerful V8s wasn't going to bode well. But if you gave them options, gave us customers options to buy something other than an electric vehicle, at the very least, you could at least maintain your sales or came close to that. But instead, we reported plenty of times in my past videos that their sales continue to tank because number one, they didn't have vehicles to sell. They pretty much, like I said, took a whole year off from building any sort of vehicles. The electric vehicles took priority to get pushed out, right? They had no plans of releasing the new Dodge Charger with a gas power engine until at least mid 2025 or at the end of 2025. Now, recently that has been changed to kind of push that back up to kind of like Q1 of 2025. Their original plan was not to release the gas-powered vehicles at the same time they're going to release the EVs. So a Stellantis employee even confirmed, like, they pretty much talked about Tavares in this manner. He was the type of person that he felt like he knew everything, right? He didn't want to take advice from anyone else, and despite experts telling him certain things, he went his own route. And they felt like if you're the type of person that knows everything, you don't care about anyone else's opinion, which if you're the CEO, granted, yes, you make all the decisions for the company, but you do have to take into consideration the experts around you that are much closer to the action than you are, right? So we know Tavares is a terrible CEO. He's a terrible leader for the company, right? But at least maybe he was a good person, right? Maybe he was someone that actually cared about the people that worked under him, right? Well, that was also very far from the truth. No, he did not care about the people working under him either, right? So this is a prime example of how Tavares used his role as the CEO of his company and kind of let all that power get to his head and whatnot, right? So we know Stellantis is a global company, meaning they have leadership in various parts of the world. You know, a lot of leadership in North America, a lot in the Europe region and things like that. Tavares, we know he's kind of based out of France. He's the CEO, he's based out of France. That's kind of where he is most of the time. I think he's from like Portugal or something like that, right? This is how bad he was, right? And how much he did not care about those working under him. He would have meetings with the leadership in North America. And we know, there's different time zones, right? Europe has their own time zone. North America has their own time zone, right? Instead of him trying to make some sort of like compromise to meet with his leadership in North America to not impact them having to meet late at night and things like that, he did exactly that. He didn't compromise. He pretty much would have meetings at his own convenience at the detriment of those that worked in North America. Long meetings would be held in the middle of the night in North America for the leadership there, and they would still the next day have to get up and go to their jobs and work their full shifts. Those are not only salaried workers, also hourly workers as well. My standpoint, I work at a company that does have partners and team members that work in Europe, and we compromise on that. We have our meetings early in the morning, during work hours, there's business hours and things like that, and their meetings will kind of be towards the end of the day. So we use that time that we overlap when we're at work together to have those type of meetings. Tavares never did that. He could have had the option to do maybe sometime have his meetings late in the day or something like that to accommodate his North American workers. Didn't do that. He decided, you know what, I'm going to do the meetings when it's convenient for me, and you're going to have to stay up late to have hours and hour-long meetings with me, and then you're going to have to go to work the next day. That is a prime example of how he did not care about the people that worked under him. And I can see why Tim left. Now, on top of that, we know Tim Kuniskis retired as the kind of the brand leader for Dodge and Ram, right? Now, typically when you retire, that means you're done working, right? That means you're not planning on doing any other work or whatnot for the most part, right? Yes, I know there's people that have retired and came back. It's kind of funny that Tim retires, Tavares steps down as CEO, and in a few days after Tavares steps down, Tim comes back to the company. Like, that pretty much is a telltale sign of how bad Tavares was for this company. Not only as a leader, but as a person. We've all heard the saying that people don't quit jobs, they quit leadership, right? If the leadership does you wrong and just treats you bad and things like that, it will accelerate your plan to get up out that company, right? But if you work with people that care about you, if you work with people that you have fun working with, then you will tolerate a job that you may not like because of the people you work with, because those are going to people going to be around a lot more. Exactly like I was saying before, if Tavares leaves the company and you come back, that is pretty much a telltale sign of how terrible of a leader he was, not only for the company, but for those that reported into him. Now, on top of that, Tavares also lost trust of the shareholders as well. Now, as the stock prices for Stellantis was falling, both GM and Ford had increases in their stock prices for the same time. During the same time period, Stellantis stock has fallen like 43%. Meanwhile, like I was saying with GM and Ford, GM was up 55%, with Ford being just down 9%. So while Ford did drop some, they did not have such a dramatic drop off that Stellantis had. And when you have a drop off of 43%, that is signs of some huge trouble within the company. Now, with Tavares gone and Tim coming back after he left, that does seem like a good sign for Stellantis to turn this ship around. Now, again, Stellantis is a ship, and ships take a long time to turn. So there are probably already plans in motion to do certain things, but hopefully now that things have changed and the right people have left the company and the right other people have came back into the company, granted it's only for the Ram division and not Dodge just yet, there's an opportunity for things to go in the right direction and someone to get in place to put this company on the track that it should be. There's a lot of potential with this company. They have a lot of good things that could be coming, but it has to be done right. And right now, it's really a huge turning point for the company, right? You killed off the V8s, which now there could be a slight open door to bring that back with the right leadership and the right plan in place. Now, I know a lot of people look to Ford and look to Chevy, like how are these other companies doing so well with still putting out V8s? The main thing is something I said before. Those companies are doing well with selling other cars besides V8, something Dodge has been struggling with as a whole. And also another issue with that is Dodge just has way too many V8s. I've talked about it before. I think the best strategy for Dodge going forward, if they are going to bring back a V8, is to really focus in on 1 or 2 V8 engines, and that's it, right? They don't need to go the route they did before and have 5 or 6 different V8 engines. While I know we enjoyed it, but the smart thing to do is not to have so many V8 engines. Ford really has 1 V8 engine for their Mustang at the moment. Of course, they're going to have another one for their Ford GTD, but that's a $300,000 car. That's not really attainable for anybody, but the main cars that are affordable, Ford just has 1 engine, the 5.0 at the moment. Even with their previous generation Ford Mustangs, they didn't have that many, V8 engine options, but it sold well. Now Chevy did the same thing with the Camaro, 2 engine options when it came to the V8. They had the 6.2 liter naturally aspirated for the SS, and I think the LT1, stuff like that. I may forget the other trim, but whatever. And they had the 6.2 liter supercharged for the ZL1s, and that sold pretty decent, not as well as Dodge and Ford, but it did well. But now Chevy's kind of turned to the Corvette and they're just going bonkers with that. So that's kind of irrelevant at the moment. But that's how they are doing. That's something Dodge is not doing it. But now with the right people in place, there's opportunity for them to do things the right way. If you have made it this far in the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do a lot of car related things on this channel. We talk cars and we discuss things of this nature as well. So let me know your thoughts as to how do you feel about the current things that are going on. I know how we all felt about Carlos and his leadership with Stellantis and how he has done an excellent job of ruining the whole brand and almost running it into the ground. I mean, they're still not out of the dark yet. They still have to make something happen in the next few years or they will be for real gone. But let me know your thoughts down below. And that is going to be it for this video. We'll catch you on the next one. We are out. Cut it.